Fun. No annoying
It was alright.
There were no annoying championship contenders matches. In fact, there were 2 title matches done on the spot. Suck on that, Sonya Deville.
Sonya was just like, yeah, sure, we can do all this stuff at one time. And I was like...
Meanwhile, Zelina's like seething in the corner.
So,
yeah.
Real quick, for anybody who cares and wants to know my well-being at this time, the Yankees right now, we were up like 2-0. It was great. And then it was 2-5. That's not great. And then it was 5-5, which was great. And now it's 5-6, which is not great. It's go. Oh God.
Yeah. This is a wrestling podcast, you know that, right?
I'm in a mood.
Okay. So yeah, Raw. Little Raw in a nutshell. We had the Raw tag team titles defended against Bobby Lashley and MVP. And the United States Championship was defended in a triple threat against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Nia Jax also got a clean-ass pin on Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I have no clue. No huge developments in the episode. No Goldberg besides that one promo, which was put on YouTube hours before Raw, because I think it was put on this morning. The Miz and John Morrison match was canceled.
Yeah, what about that?
No idea what's going on. Morrison was there. He had a match against Omos, but no sign of the Miz. No idea what's happening. I mean, yeah, that's really it. Nothing big, nothing huge.
No.
It was just a fun episode to watch. For the most part. So, with that said, do you want to go into the news?
Yeehaw, cowpoke. Pull up notes, which for some reason are not open on my laptop right now. And let me pull up my news. Okay. I need my laptop to start working like at reasonable speed.
Do you want me to start with what I got?
Have at it.
Okay, so Matt Cardona, formerly Zack Ryder, for those who haven't been in the know, he recently won the GCW World Championship from Nick Gage, and he's been trolling GCW, basically acting as the WWE guy, calling the GCW fans the GCW universe, and also just playing them so hard. And he's been taking it a step further lately. He showed a picture the other day of the title, and he put Velcro on it. And the reason that's a big deal is because WWE titles are infamous for having the Velcro on it rather than the traditional snaps. And today he posted what the belt looks like now. He got it fully customized by Belts by Dan. It is colorful. It says GCW Universal Champion. And it has the spinner. It's a fucking spinner belt. And this is just so hilarious because GCW fans are infamous for getting worked in this kind of way. To the point where he might get stabbed, I feel like, at some point.
I'm like a little worried for his well-being. Like, Matt Cardona is not my favorite person by any means, But like,
he's the best heel in the business right now. 100%. I mean, before all this happened, like when he won the title, somebody threw a pizza cutter at him. Like a fan threw it. So now that he's done all this, oh my god.
I'm so worried about him.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Let's get started on some more news. First thing is forced. Awesome Kong announced her retirement at NWA Empower.
Mm-hmm.
Which is well deserved at this point, I think.
Yeah. She's had an incredible career. Inspired so many people.
But yeah, I it's nice to see people getting to retire like on their terms.
Yeah.
You know?
And she had Gail Kim with her in the ring, and they were both in tears. It was so sweet.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to what retirement holds for her. Hopefully relaxing. I
just want to say I have a little bit of news on Trent, if you want me to throw that in at all.
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
AC Romero requested his release from Impact. Which we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him since May 20th.
I
think
sounds about right.
Yeah. Made his first appearance in 2019, All Glory, and then he was hospitalized due to COVID-19 in May. He is healthy now though, but that's just an additional fact.
I wonder if maybe he found a way into WWE. Because now that they're looking for bigger guys.
But they're not looking for indie wrestlers, Mark.
Yeah, well, they signed Joseph Fatu.
Doesn't count. That was like, it's the last of them, Mark.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
And there is also now a rumor killer on the idea of JR being removed from commentary on AEW. Tony Khan said that those reports are completely inaccurate, that they are not looking to remove him as an announcer. And he's never said that, and he told Ross that he never said that.
Yeah, even Jim Ross, when that report came out, he said, "This is news to me."
Yeah. Which would definitely suck,
yeah.
I feel like. But I'm sure it was just like a commentary on the fact that he does flub a lot. But all the same, not nice to make fun of people or make up rumors about people getting removed from their roles.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Viewer.
Yeah, you sitting at home, your Cheetos. Fucking Mark.
The other day I was thinking about buying some Cheetos and I didn't.
Flamin' hot?
Yeah, they were at the bodega. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, no. Because like getting the red cheesy dust on my fingers is always like, it feels so degrading to me for some reason. I'm just like, meh. Anyways, why don't you go on with your Trent news?
So it's pretty small, but he gave a little update on his injury and said, "Breaking news, medical update, neck is strong enough to hold a small Bo, his dog." So he's getting a little better. He can lift his puppy. Hopefully he gets well enough soon to where we can see him at least appear on AEW.
Yeah. It's gonna be so fun when he returns, though.
Yeah. He'll take out Wheeler Yuta.
Speaking of maybe AEW, for the 900th time, I think in like the last few weeks, we have another addition to the Adam Cole saga, and that is that Adam Cole is officially no longer under contract, but in addition to that, it is being reported by PW Insider that he is not with WWE anymore.
Yeah.
That there's reports circulating internally that he is not a member of WWE, and I'm looking forward to Wednesday now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Whether could be Wednesday, maybe Thursday. It appears on Impact or NJPW. Who knows? He literally has the pick of the litter right now.
Yeah.
He's fielding his options. I mean, his agent is definitely trying to get the most out of any contract he could get.
And someone made a point that he's kind of got the lucky point of view of being a WWE wrestler, in addition to knowing what it's like backstage at AEW for events and pay-per-views and for like parties and stuff like that. So like he kind of has like the eye into both of those worlds.
And he has a lot of connections.
Yeah, so
one of them is his own fiance or girlfriend,
whatever
they are.
I am sure we will see him sooner rather than later, though. I don't think that he is. I don't think that he's got to wait.
Yeah. You know? If the only reason it would take longer than expected is just because he's trying to get the most money he can.
Yeah.
I also have a little bit of a story from PW Insider, a little bit of a report regarding WWE.
Okey-dokey.
So PW Insider reported today in regard to stories that WWE no longer hire independent wrestlers. We are told that is not 100% accurate. As part of this shift in WWE NXT, there has been a push internally within WWE to go for larger athletes outside of wrestling circles to, quote, mold like raw clay to become WWE stars. Let me see if there's more. They also said that Raquel Gonzalez will be represented as a babyface going forward. And Indy Hartwell will be a babyface as well, still on NXT. Told that WWE is throwing a vastly larger net in terms of recruiting outside the indie scene moving forward, but they're not opposed to hiring indie talents. There's a feeling that the company swung too far in one direction on the pendulum, so now they will swing in a different direction. That said, we are also told that if an independent talent comes to the company's attention, or someone is suggested to the company as being worth the company's time to recruit, WWE will look and evaluate them. We're told it is not about closing the door completely, but the company changing their focus. So the days of William Regal showing up at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, for example, aren't done completely, but there is a push for younger, raw talents who can go through WWE 101 as opposed to trying to pluck hot indie talents for NXT. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, the possibility of AC Romero going to NXT isn't out of the question entirely.
There's just something that I'm hearing about the Charlotte and Nia match that I didn't realize happened. But we will talk about that later.
Their shoot slap fight?
Apparently that was not bad.
Yeah.
With that said, we've still got a little bit more WWE news. Since first Sasha is going to maybe return September 10th. No one knows where the fuck she is or why the fuck she's been gone. I have my own theories that I will keep to myself. But she should be back by the 10th. That's what they're hoping for. I guess I also hope that she's back then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes when this shit happens, it gets to be like, well, are they going to be released next? Kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully she comes back. And maybe we'll get an explanation as to why the fuck she's been gone. Then I can feel bad about assuming it's something else. Then on that note, Matt Riddle, maybe not the smartest fucking... I don't know the fucking saying. I've had too much caffeine. the sharpest tool in the shed. How's that? Matt Riddle commented on Roman commenting on the fact that SummerSlam this year was the most viewed, highest grossing show in the event's history. And Roman said, legitimate needle moving. Which Matt Riddle said, and maybe this is kayfabe. Maybe this is Matt Riddle like gearing up to be moved to SmackDown and to get into a feud. He said, no disrespect to Roman, he seems like a swell fella, but at the same time, it's like when people say they're a good parent, you know what? If you were a good parent, your kids would be telling you you're a good parent. He's saying, acknowledge me, or I move the needle. No, you don't. You're related to The Rock. Shut up. Like, I'm not impressed. I can beat you up in a real fight, so shut your mouth. Then he said in addition that you're not moving needles. I'm the real stallion. RK Bro is moving the merch. We're moving the needle, and that's it. I don't want to say too much. I'm not trying to get in trouble. Hey, hats off to him. He's amazing at what he does. I do like what he does, but at the same time, it's like, get off your high horse. You're in that spot for a reason. You're not a bro. You're second generation. I'm first generation. I really hope that's for kayfabe, because if it's not, Matt Riddle is going to get his ass handed to him.
We're entering that time of year where wrestlers will make remarks like this to try and amp up hype for any kind of draft, or for the draft happening. And now that it's coming up in early August, which is just a little over a month from now, they're kind of throwing their hat in the ring for the other brand.
Right. I think the only reason why I feel like this is not specifically that is because Matt Riddle is not doing anything that's parallel to what Roman is doing over on SmackDown.
It's still, I mean, you wouldn't have thought that Big E would have been doing what he did right when the draft happened last year. You never would have thought he'd be going for the Intercontinental Championship, be the Money in the Bank holder. So it's throwing your hat in the ring, and maybe creative sees the hype behind it. I doubt he's actually trying to pick a fight with Roman, because, I mean, you wouldn't try and pick a fight with your coworker.
I mean, Matt Riddle got a pretty nasty receipt in the form of a black eye from Seth Rollins, so I don't know how often he's thinking ahead in that sense. He doesn't exactly seem like the brightest bulb.
Well, regardless, I still think it's a work.
Okay, so then in addition to that, we also have some news about new signings. This includes Gable Stevenson's brother. I said I opened up the right article when I was doing this. Bobby Stevenson. And then we also have Ben Buchanan, the son of former WWE Tag Team Champ Bull Buchanan. Joshua Dawkins, who is the son of NBA legend Daryl Dawkins. And we've got a 6'3", 245-pound Brady Booker, who was a college football and archery archer. And then Jessica Woynilko, who's competed for the U.S. national gymnastics team in 2016. And then in addition to that, there's also Joseph Fatu, who is the brother of Jimmy and Jay. Which, it's kind of funny because there's Jonathan, Joshua, and Joseph. That family.
Isn't there a Jacob?
Maybe.
Is it, I thought Jimmy was Jacob.
Yeah. Jonathan and Joshua are Jimmy and Jay.
Oh no, Jacob.
Joseph is.
Oh, Jacob Fatu's the one in MLW.
Oh. That explains that.
So there's a fourth.
Jesus. How many more J names are there? And our final piece of news is something I saved for last because I was wondering if you were going to spoil it. Which is Keith Lee is not going to be the Keith Lee that we think he is. They are apparently, there's rumors that Lee going to be repackaged as a monster heel.
Okay.
Lee has been working squash matches, dark squash matches, as a heel to destroy local competitors. And according to Meltzer, this is on purpose, because they're planning to repackage him with a new character. Nervous about it, but
I mean, look at Roman repackaged.
Shit.
And the reason repackagings like this happen, turning someone from face to heel, it's so that you can have that eventual face turn and have it be extraordinary. It's what they're doing with Roman. I assume that's what the plan is with Becky, even though it's kind of dumb. She was already over as a face. But yeah, it seems like that's the plan with Keith. And you know what? Let him debut some sick-ass gear.
Yeah. And maybe a cool new walkout. Something a little better than what he's got now. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I've got a little fun little piece of news, I guess.
Okay.
That I just found. So in NJPW Strong, it's just a fun little matchup that I think will be fun. I think you'd like to hear. Josh Alexander is facing off against Daniel Garcia on Friday. Sounds like a fucking awesome matchup. So yeah, we should really get in on Fight TV so we can watch NJPW.
Sheep.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all the news I have right now.
And Mick Foley commented on the Charlotte Nia match.
I just saw a clip of it. I don't know.
He tweeted.
It looks like she landed on her shoulder.
He tweeted, just wondering what the fuck was up with that Charlotte versus Nia match.
Yeah, I mean, again, I could be totally wrong. I know Nia Jax has been done dangerous shit before, so
I mean,
reputation precedes her. But I mean, I saw the clip.
None of it looked very dangerous.
I can send you the clip.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip?
Yeah.
It looks like she landed on her this part of her body.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have been big critics of Nia Jax in the past. And I don't know, I saw the clip again after the match ended. It didn't look bad. I mean, it didn't look horrible. I mean, Nia does have a history of being unsafe, but I don't know. I don't think it's any different from anything Karrion Kross does or anything Sami Zayn does.
If you don't believe us, go back in time and watch any other podcast, because we have a number of occasions criticized Nia for things that she has done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That didn't look that bad.
I mean, the little confrontation between them was definitely like a shoot. Or, yeah, it was definitely a shoot. Like, they were definitely, mad at each other or something, but it didn't seem like Charlotte got legitimately hurt by anything Nia did.
Maybe she just perceived it that way. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyways,
yeah.
Got some other matches to talk about.
Yeah. So let's get into the recap. So we started off with Damien Priest in the ring, a great way to start the episode. He said, OKC, because they're in Oklahoma City. I feel alive. Bienvenidos. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Last Sunday, I became United States champion. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to show this title the respect it deserves. Like Jeff Hardy, like John Cena, unlike our WWE champion Bobby Lashley. He showed everyone what type of champ he is last week. That ain't gonna be me. I promise everyone I'm gonna handle this right. We know why we're here. Who's it gonna be? The United States Open Challenge starts right now. And Sheamus walks out. He says, Damo, Damo, Damo. I can't believe I'm saying this. I agree with you. The almighty Bobby does love to run from a fight. The greatest maneuver in WWE, the bro kick, comes in. I'm gonna take that kick, wipe that smile off your face, and take back my gold. And then Drew McIntyre comes out and says, as much as I want to see Priest beat Sheamus' ass, I think it's time for something fresh. The WWE Universe deserves something new. There is one title that's eluded me in my career. The United States Championship. What I propose is Drew McIntyre versus Damien Priest for the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley then comes out with MVP. MVP says, I'm going to ask you all to hold your applause for once for Bobby Lashley. Bobby has beaten everybody. It doesn't make any sense for him to make an open challenge. It's somewhat admirable for you, but not good business. What is the Almighty faces Damien Priest and becomes a double champion. Man, I would love to do a Drew impression, but I cannot do that. He's got
Drew's
too deep of a
accent
voice.
is so. Accent is also just so weird right now that it's like it's half American and half not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could do like Finn's kind of, but Drew's is like the deepness of his voice. It's a little too much. So RK Bro comes out next. Randy says, Riddle, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but everything MVP just said sucked. Riddle says, yeah, it sucks, but not like a Roomba, 'cause that's its job. Randy says, you're nothing more than a greedy son of a bitch, Bobby. You can't have a second championship. Riddle's like, yeah, how would you hold it? Can't have two championships. Wait, we have two and then Randy kind of shushes him. Bobby says, you're right. I do. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, he says, you're right. I do want a second championship, but it doesn't have to be the United States Championship. Maybe I'll take your tag titles. And then Randy says, why don't we have an open challenge against you, Bobby, and your own personal. Oh, no. Riddle said this. Why don't we have an open challenge against you, Bobby, and your own personal Brodeo clown MVP? I forget who said this. I think it was MVP. He said, you do know that's not how an open challenge works. Oh no, Randy whispered that in Riddle's ear. And then Bobby said, you're on, we accept. Now Sheamus, kick Damien's ass and free us up. Tag team match tonight, you're on. Adam Pearce and Sonya then come out, and they say, the way we see it, we have two huge main events. Damien Priest, consider your open challenge closed. You'll defend against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. And MVP and Bobby will team up and take on the Raw Tag Team Champions tonight. And then Rhea Ripley comes out, and we're like, fuck, is she making an open challenge too? But no, she gets in the ring after commercial break and says, let me introduce the woman in my corner tonight, Nikki Ash. Nikki Ash comes out. Shayna and Nia then come out. Nia is on the apron and says, not sure what Shayna can do to you, Reya, but after the match, I'll have splattered both you and Charlotte on this ring. Oh no, both of you, as in Reya and Nikki, on this ring, and I'll do the same thing to Charlotte Flair later. And then we get Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Basler after like 20 minutes of promos.
It's interesting how they're trying to Nikki over.
Yeah, by just pairing her with Rhea rather than giving her like an actual character.
It didn't sound like it was working.
Mm-hmm.
So we start out by grappling. There is an arm sub on Reya that she tries powering out of. Shayna transitions into a Kimura lock on Reya. Reya ends up tossing Shayna down, but Basler won't release. She goes for the elbow stomp. Reya catches her. Shayna still knocks Reya upside the head with a boot. There's a kick to the face of Reya, and then an inside cradle to Shayna. Shayna gets Reya's arm stuck in the apron. And then stomps down onto it. Shayna just starts beating Reya up. There's a kick to the chest of Reya. Reya kind of eggs her on. Kind of like waves her forward, like, you're worst. Uh-oh.
What's going on?
I have a laptop that's about to die, and I don't have a charger.
You have a charger in your hand? Oh, do you need a USB-C charger?
No, I need a plug.
Wow, because you left it in the living room.
Yes, I did. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Let's see what I can do.
I don't know what you can do without the...
I can do whatever I want to do.
Okay.
I'm a big, strong man.
Okay.
Think.
Did you say you think?
And... Alright, so Shayna just starts beating Reya up. There's a kick to the chest of Reya. Already went through this. Basler goes for another kick. Reya catches her. A series of short arm clotheslines to Shayna, and then a headbutt to Shayna. Reya, like, no sells, even though sometimes she does sell it, and I don't know what the difference is. So, then get a kick to Shayna's arm before a drop kick to her head. Another clean-ass Northern Lights suplex. Shayna wants the armbar on Reya. Reya won't allow it to be locked in. She grabs the rope, but the ref doesn't see it immediately.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It's weird. Yeah, the ref is just, like, dawdling along, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, fuck.
Reya's literally pointing at her legs, like, I'm on the ropes.
Yeah. And the ref was, like, too busy talking to Shayna. Anyways. Ref doesn't see it immediately. There's a Kirifuda on Reya. Reya ends up getting free. And then Nia, like, to distract her, Samoan drops Nikki ringside. But Reya gets rolled up. She reverses it, though, into an inside cradle to win. She still gets kicked in the head by Nia, and then Samoan dropped in the ring. That's the match.
Yeah. I found a Pat McAfee tweeted. He said, "Hey Adam Cole, consider this tweet a legit contract offer to be Ty Schmidt and Boston Connor's assistant. Those are two guys on Pat McAfee show. $22,000 a year, no benefits, but you'll be able to build your resume. We'll need to know your answer sooner than later." And then Adam Cole responded, "I'll think about it. I'm kidding. I hate you."
Damn it, Adam.
Oh god, Pat and Adam Cole are so great. Alright, so after that we had a promo with the Viking Raiders. It said, "Unbridled bravery in the face of our foes. WWE will witness the true nature of the Viking Raiders. After tonight, everyone will realize the raid is on." And then we get Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Veer. It's weird, because you would think Jinder would be the singles guy, and Veer and Shanky would be the tag team.
I don't think Shanky's ready. I think that's the thing.
But I feel like then a tag team would be perfect, because he doesn't have to be active the entire time.
I don't know.
It'd be a good way to build him up. I don't know.
Start this match with Ivar versus Jinder. Side headlock on Ivar. Ivar ends up no, sorry. We start with Ivar versus Veer. I don't know what I was doing during the beginning part of my notes.
Okay.
We get a side headlock on Ivar. Ivar throws Veer off. Hits him with a shoulder tackle that Ivar completely no-sells. He sends a boot to the chest of Veer. Eric gets in. hits a spine buster to Veer, or Ivar hits a spine buster to Veer before Eric takes Ivar up, dumps him down onto Veer. Ivar gets right back in after this. Veer does a fucking weird little thing. Veer kind of like pounces on Ivar. Like it's like sort of like a belly flop, but not.
Yeah.
Not a belly flop.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Jinder gets in. There's a boot to the midsection of Ivar before Jinder begins sending shoulders into Ivar's midsection in the corner. Big pump knee to Ivar as he bounces off the ropes. Veer gets in off that. Flashes Ivar in the corner, gets Jinder back in. Jinder sends Ivar onto his ass before getting a half Nelson on him, which Ivar fights out of. Hits a boot to the face of Jinder, gets Eric back in. Eric lifts Jinder up, who fights himself back down with some elbows. Eric ends up getting tossed into the corner, punches Veer in the process. The flying knee to Jinder. Veer interferes, gets suplex. Jinder wants the Colossus. He cannot get the Colossus. He gets tossed from the ring instead. Ivar cannonballs down onto him, or onto Shanky and Veer, standing over there. Jinder then bounces Eric's head off of the apron. Eric gets in. They hit their tandem offense to win. It's a very choppy match. It didn't really make a ton of sense, but
yeah. Also, the Crash Lucha Libre announced a inter-promotional 4-way dream match on September 11th. It's going to be Hijo del Vikingo versus Black Taurus versus Andrade El Idolo versus Phoenix. That sounds fucking cool. Alright. So, after that we get the United States Championship triple threat match between Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Damien Priest.
And this was a hell of a match. This was almost better than the main event, in my opinion. So Sheamus attacks Drew first, but Drew and Damien then turn on Sheamus. Shoulder tackle to Sheamus from Drew. Sheamus rolls out of the ring. Damien comes through with a dive onto him. This ends with Drew and Sheamus fighting ringside. Damien then takes Sheamus, dumps him into the timekeeper's area with like a back body drop. Get back in the ring. I think we went to commercial break at this point. Sheamus was up top though. Comes down onto Damien with a clothesline. Drew begins climbing in while Damien gets some white kneecaps into his spine. Sheamus drives Drew off the apron into the barricade, forcing him to stay out of the ring a little bit longer. Sheamus goes for the Irish Curse backbreaker, but Damien blocks it. He takes Sheamus down to the mat, gets his shoulder locked up. Sheamus still tries to pin him by rolling him backwards. But Damien's smarter than that. There's an Irish Curse backbreaker to Damien after Sheamus breaks free. Damien tries to take the mask off of Sheamus, just like he did at SummerSlam, but Sheamus beats Damien down. Attempts the 10 beats at the bottom, but Damien starts fighting back. In turn, he gets, 7-7 Yankees. Damien starts fighting back. He gets some fists into the spine, though, that force him back into the 10 beats position. Sheamus successfully does all 10 beats of the bottom. And he releases Damien, who falls to the ground. And Drew kind of fucking, like, Undertakers his ass a little bit. It's just, like, Sheamus is, like, having the time of his life, and then Drew's just, like, kind of bops in. He hits some overhead toss belly to bellies to Sheamus several times. Hits kind of a messy neck breaker. And then kips up. It's pretty my favorite things that he does. It's not a big deal anyways. So he wants the Claymore, it looks like. He doesn't end up getting it. There's a near future shock DDT instead. Sheamus rolls Drew up, however, because Drew can't get the future shock off anymore. It's one of those things. We're back in that phase. Rolls Drew up, though. He dodges him as he charges at Sheamus, sending Drew into the ring post. There's some fists to the face of Sheamus and a bell clap and a spinning back heel because Damien is back in the ring and he's going off. Some jumping elbows to Drew and then Sheamus and then Drew and then Sheamus and back and forth between corner and corner and corner and corner. Sheamus starts fighting back and for his efforts gets clotheslined. Priest wants to choke slam Drew, but Drew manages to fight his way back down to his 2 feet. He kicks Damien in the chest, loads him out of the ring, dives out onto him in what is like a fucking ridiculous. You call it? It's not a moonsault. Like, I mean, you saw it.
Yeah.
That was absurd. Like cannonballing through the air, basically.
This is just a suicide dive.
It was a suicide dive, but it's because he's such a big dude. It's a suicide dive where it's like, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
A man that large should not be able to do that. He loads Damien back in the ring, but it looks like Drew's got something going on with his back at this point. There's an elbow to the face of Drew, and then a fucking nasty Michinoku driver to Priest. Damien, however, goes up top. Drew goes up top. Sheamus comes through. He drops both Drew and Priest onto the ropes by, like, loosening their feet. Drew ends up in the position of being upside down. Sheamus starts stomping on Drew. Then he goes up top. Damien's up top. And it looks like Sheamus wants the superplex on Damien. Drew McIntyre does that fucking thing that makes me kind of crazy. Like a feral but good way. He does that, like, fucking, like, sit up while hanging upside down and tosses both of them in what is opposite of a superplex, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's a superplex basically from the floor. Basically, it's just Drew bragging about his core strength. Anyways. After this, Drew and Sheamus are just teeing off. There's a lot of chops to Sheamus's chest. Sheamus hits a nasty fucking Alabama slam to Drew. It's the cloverleaf submission locked in, but Damien breaks it up with a roundhouse to the face of Sheamus. He tosses Sheamus to the ground. He and Drew start exchanging blows. There's another failed future shock DDT and a failed kick to the face of Damien, and then a failed reckoning to Drew. Sheamus breaks all of this up with a kick to the head of Priest. Drew gets his future shock DDT to Sheamus. He wants the Claymore, gets pump kneed in the jaw instead by Sheamus. There's a white noise to Drew off the second rope, which I think always looks so funny, because especially when it's like on Drew or somebody like that. And it's this big ass dude just kind of like gangly, like clinging to the back of Sheamus. Just so funny, because like it's like just limbs. He gets the white noise. Damien, however, gets in, hits a flurry of strikes to Sheamus. Sheamus gets dropped into the buckle. There's a failed reckoning again, and a Claymore to Sheamus, which takes care of Sheamus. Damien, and then a Glasgow kiss to Damien. Damien, however, finds himself positioned in the. It looked like Drew was going for a spine buster, I think. But Damien finds himself in the perfect position to hit a clean reckoning for Damien to win and pin Drew. And then we get like a nice little handshake. Nice little show of respect, if you will.
Yeah. But Sheamus is still laid out. After that, we had an interview with Goldberg from earlier today. He said he has ligament damage, but he doesn't really care. His son's shoulder is all jacked up. He's in a lot of pain. But the objective has changed. He's not coming for the title. He is coming for Bobby Lashley's soul, and he'll rip it straight through his chest. Full interviews on YouTube. Then we get Reginald out in the park with some more 24/7 business. He says, I always dreamt about traveling the country. As a WWE superstar that has become a reality, I get to visit beautiful parks like this. Feels like it's still the same park he's been in this entire time. And there's a man, there are two guys behind him. One of them's in a dog costume. Truth is obviously the other one. Throws a frisbee at Reggie. Reginald tosses it at the guy in the dog costume, who is obviously Tozawa. They both chase after Reggie. Reggie flips over them, jumps onto a bridge, and evades them. I'm getting tired of this stuff. I know this is like how I want 24/7 title to be. Like, you have to defend it wherever you are, constantly. But he's only in the parks. Have him go somewhere else. Rent out a diner. Have him like, eating dinner.
Why does Does Reginald only hang out in playgrounds?
I mean, in all fairness, this was his first time in a playground. He's been in parks, though. I mean, the last one was an ice cream truck.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
But, like, have something in, like, the hotel. That'd be fun. Or, like, I don't know, in his car. You don't need to rent out anything there. And then we get Eva Marie versus Doudrop.
Do we?
I'll just talk about this.
Thanks.
So Doudrop, after Eva Marie makes her entrance, Doudrop makes her entrance, and her new walkout is so bad. I don't know what the song's supposed to be. It's like uppity. I can't wait for her to make the turn Bailey did. But it's like uppity. It's like kind of house music, kind of. Not good. It is not good.
It's really bad. So,
as soon as Doudrop gets in the ring, she just immediately starts beating on Eva Marie before the match even starts. And the whole time, Eva Marie just has her eyes wide open, just straight face the entire time. Apparently, what I've heard is Brian Kendrick, he trained Eva Marie and like gave up training her.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was on Total Divas. I think he said it there. But if that's true, man.
That show didn't give me anxiety. I would go back and I'd watch it.
Yeah, and then she's too in pain to continue, so they call the match. Doudrop grabs the mic and says, "Your winner is Doudrop, blah blah blah. The loser is Eva Marie, whatever." Then she leaves. That's it.
Yeah, it was once again another moment where it's like, Jesus Christ, Piper deserves better than this.
Yep.
God.
So then we get an interview with Charlotte Flair. She says Nia is a monster, but tonight I'll slay that nasty Kraken. I'm the most decorated female in WWE history. Long live the Queen. And then we get Carrion Cross versus Umberto Carrillo. In a match that is the right way to book Carrion. But that fucking gear.
Bad.
It is horrible. They don't make any changes to it after the laughing stock it was last week. No changes.
Just goes to show they're like, we don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
Also, I think before this, we got an NXT promo. That was the same NXT that we normally expect.
Yeah, what was it advertised? It was advertising a match.
It wasn't advertising anything. It was just advertising NXT. The whole. It showed a bunch of like match clips, but not advertising anything that's like supposed to happen.
It was talking about Samoa Joe and like everyone kind of challenging him.
Yeah. And then we got like later on we got like the NXT colorful logo coming.
I am hopeful about it now that I thought about it.
Not.
Because now, like, I saw a clip of Adam Cole where he was the champion. He was berating a bunch of trainees. I mean, what they might be going for is, like, kind of a spray paint kind of thing. But the colorfulness comes from, like, the different color tags around the area, so you still get that underground vibe that NXT was, while making it still colorful and bright. I hope out of anything that's what they go for, and not just a bunch of bright colors for the sake of making them colorful.
I just like that it's like they don't say like coming soon even, or like coming like next week, or coming soon is what I would expect. It's just coming. Be scared.
Coming next. coming NXT. So yeah, Carrion versus Umberto.
Umberto goes off the top rope. He crossbodies Cross.
What?
It's funny to say.
He bodies cross.
He crossbodies Cross. Kicks Cross in the legs a couple times, strikes him in the face, which kind of just pisses Cross off. Goes for some sort of springboard maneuver, like he goes up, jumps off the rope, and goes backwards right into Carrion's arms. Carrion ends up tossing him, clotheslines him basically inside out. There's a snap suplex to Umberto. And then they're exchanging blows. Umberto manages a back elbow to Cross. Cross tosses him into the post. Umberto then jumps right into Carrion's arms as if like this were like fucking Dirty Dancing. Carrion hits a release Northern Lights suplex, the roundhouse to the head of Cross, and a drop kick to Cross. Carrion then tosses Carrillo to the apron. Carrillo hangs him up. We go off the top rope right into a forearm from Carrion, and then a Doomsday Saito suplex and a cross jacket.
It wasn't a bad match. I thought it was actually pretty good. Carrion, he was dominant without completely owning the match, which is good. So after that, we had Nia Jax and Gorilla. She said, "I'm gonna crush Charlotte and anyone who gets in my way. What I did to Nikki is just a taste. I'm gonna take her invisible crown and shove it up her royal behind." We then go to Riddle and Randy Orton backstage. Riddle's just rambling about whatever. Randy says, "Only thing you need to be today is my tag partner. I'll do what I'm good at and we'll be fine." Riddle says, "I won't let you down, bro." And then continues rambling about some other shit. And then we get Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, I didn't take note of when the shoot fight happened. I didn't know that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the middle of watching our housemate kill a bug. We were a little distracted. Said. So Nia charges at Charlotte, who immediately jumps out of the ring. She gets back in. She kicks Nia in the knee. She tries to suplex Nia, but cannot do it. The headbutt to Charlotte, who's then rocked. Charlotte eventually cartwheels out of the ring after being whipped towards the corner. She tries to pull Nia from the ring, kind of like choking her out against the ropes. Then she hangs her up. Get a sleeper on Nia, who slams Charlotte off of her. Jesus, sorry. I had coffee. She whips Charlotte off of her, hits her with a spine buster. Charlotte then loads Nia from the ring, moonsaults down onto her, but lands on her knees. There's a Samoan drop to Charlotte, and then Nia goes for the leg drop, but Charlotte avoids it, sends a boot of her own into the face of Nia. Charlotte then gets loaded up on Nia's shoulder. She gets down, hits an inverted DDT to Nia, and it looks like she wants a figure four. She realizes she has to do more damage to acquire that. And then Nia hits Charlotte with a one-handed powerbomb to cleanly win. No distractions, no nothing.
Yeah, that was extremely shocking, and I don't know if the ending was planned, but if it was, they're planning to skyrocket Nia Jax.
Yeah.
After that, we had a promo with John Morrison backstage. He gave like a hell of a promo, even if it was short. He's got some real acting chops. He said, "I was supposed to have a match with Miz tonight, but he's running. Still want to prove I'm the bigger man. I asked and was granted a match against the largest human being, you." And he looks up to Omos and almost just said, "Sucks to be you." And Morrison just kind of stands there like, "Yeah, guess it does." And I am so scared they're just gonna put him on main event. I'm so scared.
Yeah, I get it.
He's got to be like main event material. He's so good. And so we go right to Omos versus John Morrison.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what happened with The Miz.
Might have had a shoot or something today.
Maybe. Just, it's weird, because Sean Ross Sapp actually said none of the matches that were advertised last week happened this week.
What else? Oh, I guess Bobby versus Sheamus, was that advertised? Oh.
Yeah. So John Morrison comes out with a dripstick, as expected. Omos knocks it away. There's a kick to the midsection of Omos, and then a kick upside the head to Omos, and an attempted roundhouse to Omos, which becomes Omos throwing John Morrison out of the ring by his throat. Then Johnny gets tossed into the steps, and this is where it kind of gets like a little weird. He gets tossed into the steps, but like he kind of like handsprings off of them, catches himself, does not get injured, and he tries to go off those stairs again, like runs towards Omos, tries to go off the stairs. And like kick the legs out from under Omos, but he misses wildly. I mean, he ends up like 2-3 feet away from Omos at the end of the day. Omos then gets John Morrison back in the ring, does this weird thing where like catches Morrison's foot and then like kind of like tosses him backwards so that both of his legs end up hitting against the top rope and he like springs forward. It was so weird and like kind of smart. It was really cool.
Yeah. It
was just something that like I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And then Omos just flattens John Morrison to win.
Yeah, I did not like Omos in this match. He's continuing to show that he's only really capable of like a few things. Even when it comes to like lines to say. Always says every match, this is my house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that Omos is long for this world of Raw, at least.
Yeah, almost was he was over at WrestleMania. And then the hype ended. Because they haven't mixed him up at all. He's been pretty stale.
Yeah.
Alright, so then Xavier Woods immediately comes out, and we get Xavier Woods versus AJ Styles.
Sweet. So there's some chops to AJ. Xavier goes for double boots through the ropes, but AJ sidesteps him. Doesn't really matter. Xavier drops AJ onto the barricade ribs first. Boot to the face of Xavier. Xavier lifts AJ to the apron. AJ hits an elbow over the ropes and kind of looks like he wants the phenomenal forearms, but Xavier rolls out. AJ ends up getting a drop kick to him through the ropes. He then hyperextends the left knee of Xavier, drives that knee into his thigh to further injure said knee, begins torquing the leg of Xavier. Xavier gets free with some blows to the face of AJ. We get an arm drag takedown into AJ, and then a kick to the midsection. Woods rolls Styles up and then hits him with a couple of chops after he breaks free. Uppercut to AJ and a kick upside the head to Xavier. AJ wants the powerbomb, but Woods attempts like the stunner, fails to get that. Gets a spinebuster instead, and then hangs AJ upside down on the ropes. Punches him a little bit. Gets a lingering drop kick right to the midsection. And then there's a kick behind the knee of Xavier, and a calf crusher gets locked in. Xavier can't reach the ropes in time, and he taps out.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that AJ got a clean win for once.
Yeah,
he's been like pretty underbooked lately, considering that everyone dodges his phenomenal forearm now.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is that like it's like the Future Shock DDT. Like they can't always get it off.
And so we go then immediately right into RK Bro versus Bobby Lashley and MVP for the Raw Tag Team titles.
This was exhausting. By the way, me. We start with Bobby versus Riddle. Riddle pounces on Bobby, who eventually slows Riddle down with a back elbow and a shoulder tackle, hits him with a lingering vertical suplex, one-armed or one-handed. MVP gets in. We had a nice suplex, but Riddle drives P into the corner, tags Randy, and Randy stomps on MVP's toes and then his hand. Riddle gets back in. It's an assisted splash onto MVP, but Riddle misses most of it. Which was kind of the story for Riddle for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Missed a couple of moves. Randy goes down to ringside. Bobby's ringside. MVP is ringside. Riddle moonsaults off the apron onto MVP and Bobby. Back in the ring post-commercial break. Bobby hits Riddle with a flatliner. Riddle starts striking against the freshly legal MVP. MVP punches under the leg of Riddle, but Riddle somersaults away, gets Randy in. He starts punching the shit out of MVP and then hits him with a boot to the... Or rather than MVP hits a boot to the face of the Viper. Doesn't really matter. Randy hits him with the nasty power slam. And then he kind of gets distracted by Bobby. And decides that Bobby is deserving of a Draper DDT. Gets that off on him. There's a boot to the face of Randy from Mr. MVP. MVP drives Randy into the corner, gets Bobby in, and Bobby does like the Alexa Bliss crawl, but backwards. I don't know how else to explain it. It was just very weird to watch him do it.
Yeah. He's done it. He's done it sometimes, like similar crawls, but this one just felt weird.
This one felt like a little ooky. So there's a neck breaker to Randy, and a spear is about to be set into motion. But Randy nearly RKO's Bobby, gets Riddle in. There's a Pele kick to Bobby. Riddle tries for a suplex with absolutely no luck. He hits the floating bro that connects. MVP, however, breaks the cover. MVP gets sends Randy out to the ringside area. MVP then gets in, boot to the face of Riddle and a kick to the ear of MVP. Bobby wants to run Randy into the post. This is where all starts breaking down. Bobby's not legal, Randy's not legal, so Bobby takes Randy. He wants to run him into the post like he always does. Randy, however, slips down, sends Bobby into the post. And then Omos, because AJ and Omos are still ringside, Omos interferes, tries to, like, fucking crush Randy's head. Randy then gets free. He sends AJ into the announce desk. We get a pump knee to MVP from Riddle and then a floating bro to win. It was very confusing for Elizabeth. I had a lot of trouble with this match.
Yeah. It was still a pretty fun match. MVP did more than I expected, honestly. But, kind of fucked that we didn't get a ball and elbow.
I know. That's like the only thing I care about with an MVP match.
But that's the end of the Raw recap. Not too much happened that's like notable. Just some fun matches. I guess they realized like nothing big happened, so they needed to put in these title matches. Yeah. So now we go to the review portion. For our best of the night. If you have a question for our question segment, leave it in the chat right now, and we'll get to it after the best of the night. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, and we'll get to it in the next episode. Alright, so promo of the night. This one's going to be pretty tough, but I guess there's only one option. My pick for promo of the night is everything that happened in the beginning. A 20-minute long promo.
I can agree with that. That was actually kind of fun.
It was pretty fun. It was a nice change up from the normal Raw.
It was sort of fun to kind of be like, what the fuck is this all going to boil down to at the end of the day?
And Bobby kind of threw his hat into both the tag team title ring and also the United States title ring.
Yeah, Bobby's not looking so satisfied with that one title.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets 2 titles. That would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Alright. So, that is our promo of the night. Now let's do wrestler of the night. Oh, I don't know who to pick, so I'm going to go one by one. And we'll see. So, from the first match, Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Basler, I'm gonna go with Rhea. I've been loving how Rhea's been performing every week now. She's really found her stride, and this is no different. Yeah, she was a lot of fun in this match. Then we had Viking Raiders versus Jinder and Veer. I guess I'll go with Eric. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy anyone in this match particularly. Then we had the triple threat between Damien Priest, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. I'm going with Drew McIntyre. Even though his moveset is A, a lot of it's stolen. B,
Stolen is one word to use.
it's a lot of the same stuff. It's still a very fun moveset and very versatile. And he's still a lot of fun to watch. I mean that moonsault was awesome. Then we had Carrion Cross versus Umberto. Go with Carrion, I guess. Umberto didn't get a whole lot off, so I guess it's got to be Carrion. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax, and I'm actually gonna go with Nia. I know a lot of people disagree, but I really enjoyed her in this match. I don't know what her whole thing is with like her ass, because every match she kind of like makes a thing of it.
That's new.
Like she's fucking Rikishi or something. It's very, very weird. And like it's a very early 2000s thing. But you know what? Her wrestling's been pretty on point lately.
Bianca does the same thing. We don't really complain about it then.
It's not as prominent with Bianca. She just slaps it a couple times and that's like her taunting. But Nia Jax will like do the Rikishi thing where she rubs her ass against her opponent in the corner. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Nia Jax in this match. Then we had John Morrison versus Omos. Go with John Morrison. That bounce off the ropes was solid. I'm mostly impressed with Morrison selling in this match than anything. Nobody's offense was really impressive in this match at all. Then we had Xavier Woods versus AJ Styles, and I'm going to go with AJ. AJ was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, the dude always has an incredible moveset. He's a great personality to watch. He's always very impressive, and him and Xavier together make a hell of a match. But I think AJ just took the leg up in this one. Lastly, we had RK Bro versus Bobby Lashley and MVP. I'll go with Randy. Randy handling like Omos and AJ while also taking on Bobby and MVP. It was great. Randy's an incredible wrestler, and he always has a unique personality in the ring. Shows off all the time, every match. But now, a wrestler of the night, it's so hard to pick. It's so hard.
I think I know what I would choose.
It's not Reya. It's not Eric. It's not Carrion. It's not Nia. It's not Morrison. It's not Randy. Between AJ and Drew for me. I'll go with Drew. Drew spiced it up a little more than AJ did.
Yeah, Drew was really good tonight. Drew was the old Drew that I liked to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And this Drew was like one of those Drews where I was like sitting there and I was like, God, he's a fucking good wrestler.
Yeah.
He really is. He's got so much in-ring IQ. It's... Yeah. I agree.
It also helps that he was in the ring with two other great wrestlers.
Yeah.
Although Sheamus's white noise was less than spectacular.
Yeah, well. Sheamus is a sweaty dude.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to like hold all of Drew on your back.
But no white noise is better than the one he did to Big E on the hood of the car, or on the windshield of the car. That was amazing. That whole match was incredible.
It was bonkers.
I want to see another feud between those two. They could really go at it. All right. So let's do match of the night now. I think I'm pretty solid with my pick for match of the night. We're gonna go from worst
I know exactly
to best.
what I'm picking.
You know what you're gonna pick? I have a feeling you know what you're gonna pick too. All right. So let's start with the worst match today. 3 out of 10. Omos versus John Morrison. This was so stale. It was so like lame. It was a waste of time. Honestly. The only thing that was good about it was Morrison bouncing off the ropes. That was it. It was pretty dumb. It was obviously a time waster because something happened with The Miz. They couldn't get him to have a match against John. Yeah, not great. Next up, 4 out of 10. Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Basler. It was a fine match. I don't know. The ending was pretty lame. Like just the roll up, the inside cradle, and it wasn't a very exciting match. Throughout. Yeah, it's fine. Then we had 5 out of 10. Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Veer. It was decent. It wasn't anything exciting. It didn't have me on the edge of my seat at all. Yeah, it's fine. It was decent. Next up, 6 out of 10. RK Bro versus Bobby Lashley and Omos. It's fun. Really, it didn't really add anything new. Had some fun stuff, but it was pretty predictable at the end of the day. Had some distraction stuff in there, take away from it, so it was fun. Next up, 6 out of 10, Xavier Woods versus AJ Styles. This is just a fun little match that didn't have any consequence or anything. Next up, 6 out of 10, Carrion Cross versus Umberto Carrillo. I know it was a short match. I know it was pretty much a squash, but this is good booking for Carrion. It was more than should have happened out of this match. This was like when they booked squash matches for Drew McIntyre. He let his opponent get some stuff in to show off, but at the end it was still a squash match. Still booked well. And then 7 out of 10, Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair. I thought this was a really fun match that was clean. Didn't have any kind of interruptions. Just solid. I thought the shoot stuff was... Because I know Charlotte's an incredible performer, and she can pull off stuff that looks like a shoot, but is, at the end of the day, just, like, legit good wrestling, good performing. So, could have been a shoot, could have also been just a good performance. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Nia getting the win, the clean win over Charlotte, was a huge surprise that I really liked. And then finally, my pick for match of the night. 7 out of 10. Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Damien Priest. This was a hell of a match. 3 heavyweights just fucking going at it. These guys can have a hell of a match. Only thing that would have made it better is if it was treated like a good triple threat, where it's like the 3 of them just going at it, having to shuffle between the 2. A lot of times it was like Damien Priest was out for an extended period of time to have Drew and Sheamus have a singles match, and stuff like that would happen repeatedly, you know. Typical WWE triple threat. But it was still so much fun. 3 great performers in the ring together. Great stuff.
Yeah.
I assume you agree.
I do agree.
Yeah.
This was the first time in a long time, and I've been liking her more and more, but this was the first time in a while that I like not get enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved this match.
All right, cool. So to run it back, promo of the night, title match shuffle, whatever. Wrestler of the night, Drew McIntyre. Match of the night, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Damien Priest for the United States Championship. All right. You want to answer some questions?
Sure thing.
Before we get into the Twitch chat, let me just see if there's any on YouTube. Might not be. No, there is not. So, we have one question from Miriam. So when does the 24/7 title finally die? She's got two questions. We'll do that one first. When does the 24/7 title finally die?
I think it's on its way out.
It should die with Reggie. It should have died with Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Or Gronk. They should bring back the hardcore title.
Yeah, I think it's dying as it is. There's so few people that are going for it.
Or they should keep it around, but have it be the social media title. It's only defended on social media, like it's on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Never on TV. Maybe the champion appears on TV, but it wouldn't be defended on TV.
Yeah. I think it's on its deathbed as it is. Yeah. I think that they're just trying to use it for the people that they don't have anything else to do. Yeah. I think when R-Truth is gone, that's when it dies.
Yeah. I mean, the best person for it to be on right now is Reginald.
I think that R-Truth did so much to make it what it is.
Yeah.
That I can't see it. No. I can't see it continuing after he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Although you never know with WWE. You never know.
True. Hope I do, though.
So Miriam also asked, where's Kofi been? Where has he been?
Not mistaken, Kofi Kingston is not cleared to compete right now.
Yeah, I thought he was injured or something.
Let's see. My God. If you've got DSR on, that would fucking hurt my ears. Yeah, Kofi is taken off the road as he is not cleared to wrestle, according to Give Me Sport. Also, PW Insider announced the same thing. So I guess that's either it's vague.
Mm-hmm.
It must mean that he's either injured or I would assume injured.
Or in kayfabe, he could be out because he got demolished by Bobby.
It's also possible. Yeah, it seems that he's yeah, sorry, fucking weird ass headline. But yeah, I think he's injured or either kayfabe he's injured and he's actually on vacation, or he's actually injured and hasn't been allowed to compete. So I think we're gonna have to wait a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll see him soon, though. I don't like when people are gone this long.
Yeah. You would think Xavier would have talked about him at some point, like just in a promo. Like replace one of the 50 useless promos with Xavier explaining where Kofi is in kayfabe. Have him explain that he's like been hospitalized. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure they're trying to be careful of what they do and don't say about these kinds of things, especially when it's like maybe actually an injury that might have actually happened.
Yeah, but I think people understand the difference between kayfabe and reality now. Most people. All right. Like I assume most people realize that when Stone Cold attacked Vince McMahon in the hospital, he wasn't actually attacking him in the hospital.
You think? You hope.
Yeah. And they don't assume Undertaker is, you know, a zombie or the dead man, whatever he is. All right, so you want to close out the show?
I do. If you tune in tonight, thank you so much. And if you tune in the future, thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow for hopefully what's a normal episode of NXT. Hopefully.
We'll see what the new design looks like.
Mark, they did not say that it's coming now. It's coming. That's it.
Not coming fast.
Just it's lurking around the corner, waiting for you to like fucking let your guard down.
Taking its time. Coming pretty slowly.
It's there. It sees you. It's waiting.
Yeah, it doesn't get up real fast, but it's gonna come eventually.
But we'll be back tomorrow with more NXT. With NXT. We'll be back tomorrow night with our NXT podcast, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that took a little bit.
Please tune in. I might be more coherent, and you wouldn't want to miss that, would you?
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Follow and subscribe and all that jazz on the Twitch and the YouTube. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. Our Twitch, our live show, is twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23, and we'll see you all tomorrow night for NXT post show. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you then.